Hello, everybody. It said we've been live for a minute already.
Liars.
It's pretty good. Welcome back to another stream. Today we're probably gonna show the isopods.
On your phone?
Well, take my phone downstairs and show them,
Hopefully it works.
and then probably talk about the NEC or something.
Yours works better.
Indeed, that was your phone. Yeah. How exciting!
It would be nice to get a router for downstairs. So we could stream from down there again if we wanted to.
There's no room.
You could show off the changes.
We show off the fish and the isopods.
Big changes in the fish room.
They're not done yet.
Big goings ons.
Indeed. We had a middle rack in the fish room. Well, we still have it. But it was like leopard geckos, and then it had like some bins of random stuff and boxes and whatever. And then the whole top shelf was 5.5 gallons. Half of them had stuff in it, half of them were empty. So we took down the 4 5.5s that weren't doing anything. Moved 3 of them to the black isopod rack. They're now Daphnia tanks. And then the rack that's in the corner of the fish room, we took all the fish tanks off those because they were empty. And we put 3 20 longs of leopard geckos, and then the 110 of the broken gecko, the rescue gecko. And then we have 2 shelves still open for storage of like apple cider vinegar and fish flakes and whatnot. And then the middle rack now, the top shelf there's 4 5 gallons, and then there's shipping supplies. The middle rack is just all isopods. I used to have like 16 cultures of isopods or something, and they all fit on the black rack. But now I had to move and expand. It was funny because the week that we moved all this stuff over was the week that I was getting a bunch of new species, so it worked out perfect. Now that middle rack is full of almost 40 isopod things. And then there's we had to expand the white worm cultures, and there's a couple totes saved, like they're just NEC white worms. And then on the black rack, we've got like our cultures of white worms to sell and grindle worms. And on the bottom of the middle rack will be stuff for the NEC, like the kits that have to be made up. And then dry goods and whatnot. Or just any cultures we make up for the NEC, we'll just go down there. And then the dry goods will be across from the thing. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
But yeah. Maybe we'll do that giveaway that we were talking about today. Seems we didn't stream last week. Skull Aquatics, welcome.
Yep. So changes in the fish room, changes outside the fish room, changes in the fish room.
We had since we had a bunch of extra tanks, like I took the 60 gallon down. And we had 2 empty 55s. Like we got them for free and we made this rack. They were empty. We have a bunch of spare fish tanks, like an incredible amount of them, some of them like we never used. We just inherited them from various people. So we were like, we gotta like make room. So we sold the 55s, and we sold like some 30 gallons, and there's a 40 breeder reptile tank that got dropped off to us that we don't have a use for. A couple bow fronts. But we're still going to keep like we still have 40 fish tanks set up. So it's not like, because I posted a lot of tanks on Facebook Marketplace, and like everybody who messages is like, "Are you getting out of fish?" And I'm like, "No, I still have 40 tanks." Because I'll show the fish room some point of this stream, but like if you walk in the fish room, there's still, well, I don't know, there's 20 longs on the top rack. Like we still have that big husky rack. We have a rack of 310s, 4 5.5, so 75, and then up here we have a 75 cichlid, a 75 salt, and a 26 bow front.
Also salt.
Also salt. So we still have plenty of fish tanks to keep and breed fish.
Eric Wyrock. Deb's Aquapets.
Deb's Aquapets. Eric Wyrock, welcome. Lurking and twerking with the fam. But yeah, we still have plenty of fish tanks. It's just that we've gotten like so much stuff over the years, and it's just, there's just a lot of extra stuff, and we could use the room for more isopods. But yeah, we still have plenty of tanks to, like, I still have empty garage tanks, and then I have plenty of tanks that are stocked full of fish that are going to the NEC. So we're definitely not getting out of fish. It's just that we're getting rid of the empty tanks that we have never used. But like, for instance, when we've gotten a couple tanks that like come with a ton of supplies, like filters and whatnot, but they're like not the best filters. Usually we just use sponge filters anyways. So when we get tanks and they come with stuff, then they just go in a tote and they go somewhere. So I gotta go through all that stuff and
Fish family.
get rid of it. Fish family, welcome. Eric Wyrock's bringing the fam to the clash.
Jeff Kane.
Where? Jeff Kane, welcome. My bad. Oh, hi.
Yep. Always looking forward to the clash.
I've been talking about it for the past couple days.
This one will be, the NEC will be slightly different. Although from the sounds of it, there'll be a few people from the fish fam there.
Yeah. It'll be our first big show that's not the NEC.
That's not the clash.
No, that's not the clash, yeah. So I guess we'll see what it's like. We're also not staying in the hotel, which is another thing that we gotta not exactly work through, but figure it out how it's gonna work. Because Friday and Saturday the vendor room is open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. But I have a workshop on Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. So that's why I think him and I are gonna do the workshop. And then my mother and maybe my sister can run the table. Because my mother is usually the one that runs the table if I'm not there. Because she knows all the stuff about the live foods and whatnot. And usually she brings fish too. I don't know what she's bringing. I know she's got some guppies or endlers or something. And then I think she's going to get another pair of macrostoma. But I don't know. They wouldn't be big enough in time for the NEC, but for the clash. If she could get them to breed, then she could bring them to the clash again. Because they were a big hit. And then she's got the green dragons as well. Yeah. So I don't know. I haven't asked her, but I'm assuming she'd be the one running the table, and then him and I could go do the workshop for an hour. Because we only have an hour, and there's supposed to be like 20 to 25 people, and we have to help them set up 2 to 3 cultures each. So, gotta crank it out, really. That's why they opted towards me making the kits and bringing them. So, like, it's just a container, and then it's got like a bag of coconut fibers they have to make up, and then a starter culture of brindleworms and whatever else they need. So I can just show them how to set everything up, and then they'll be all good. I think that's pretty much the quickest way to get 75 cultures made up and gone in an hour. That's why we have him.
That'll be interesting. We didn't do that before. It was always usually a talk. So
Yeah, it's always been a talk.
you do the conversation and then sell whatever you bring. This will be a little different, but we'll get it.
Yeah. Car, welcome. But yeah, he usually helps me make up cultures when I need it. So he may be the best candidate for the workshop. He could just tell people what to do with me.
I'll just run the workshop. Do the
Right.
rest.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate it. But yeah, that'll probably be how it goes anyways. But yeah, so 12 hours of vending on Friday, Saturday. But the vending gets over at 9 p.m., so that's kind of late we probably won't go out for dinner. Because, like, I think the clash ends at, like, 6. So we can usually go out on Friday. But Saturday's the award ceremony, so we stay there. That's the night that we just went and got McDonald's, and we were like, we're done. We're done. But Sunday, the vending is 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. But it's definitely going to fizzle. It's definitely going to fizzle out because the auction is at, like, I don't know, noon, I think. So I don't think anybody's going to be going in the vendor room while the auction's going on. Although, you never know. People looking for last minute deals. We'll probably close up early because, I mean, it's only a 4.5 hour ride home. So it's not like the Clash where it's 6 hours and something. But we still got to get home relatively early. I don't know. Maybe 7, 8 o'clock latest. Hopefully earlier. So we can get everything put away. Because I have school the next day.
I don't.
Okay. Well, you could take the day off work and, you know, put the cultures away or something.
Oh, that's nice of me.
Yeah. I was thinking about this the other day. I feel like I should pay my employees here for helping me. Probably not you, but maybe they'd be more inclined to help. I don't mind doing, like, the cultures. Not the cultures. Yeah. I don't mind setting up the cultures by myself because that's, like, 2 weeks beforehand, so I can kind of, like, spread it out. But, like, the fish, especially the Clash, because I had trap the night. It was Wednesday, and we left on Thursday, and I had trap that night. So I missed trap, but I got home at, like, 3:30 still. And, we had, like, 6 hours or something to bag up fish. But it wasn't bad because he had both of them caught most of what I needed because I put little sticky notes on each tank. And I was like, catch all of these and catch all of these. And, like, 2 per cup or something. We just did 32-ounce cups. For the bigger shows, we can do that because we just bring the tanks and then put the fish all in tanks. And it's super easy. But for, like, one-day shows, we just have to bag them up. However, for the NEC, I'm going to be on vacation that week, so it's going to be great. I can have all week to really do everything.
Good.
Okay. I'll start bagging fish early Wednesday and then hopefully get it all done. But there's always stuff I forget. And then pre-orders people place at 3 a.m. the day we're leaving. What kind of fish do you guys keep? My first time here. Well, welcome. And we keep a lot of cories and plecos and rice fish for the most part. We do have various live bears. We used to have Maya swords, but I recently sold the whole like breeding group to somebody local. And then what else? Oh, like I have mollies and guppies because I like to keep some of the more common fish for more beginner fish keepers. And then I keep like the nice cories, black cories and green lasers and stuff. And then for plecos, I have some chocolates and albinos, but then I also have green dragons and like the peppermint plecos. And I want to have some I want to breed some snow whites too because I think they're super cool. And yes, we keep a lot of isopods and live food cultures as well. That's pretty much the main seller for us is live fish food cultures or isopods. But yeah.
Bugs and worms.
Sure. If you want to put it like that. Silly.
Isopods as bugs.
Yes.
Yeah. So the NEC will be different. Be the first big show of this in the Clash, so that'll be
It'll be a learning curve, I guess.
Yeah. We'll see how that one goes.
Yeah.
And then, as always, looking forward to the Clash.
Obviously. But you know what comes before the Clash? A bunch of other shows.
Camp.
A bunch of other shows.
For me?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I'll give you $20 if you go to a show with me.
Oh, good deal.
I know.
Put that in my gas tank and get out and not get there.
I paid for your gas anyways. I do not want to hear it. We don't keep aquatic isopods yet. That would be cool though.
Get her for a week.
He's always so sad and mad.
I don't care if you expand shit.
Oh, right. This is why we're cleaning out the basement. I'm kidding. We're not expanding the fish room. I think we made enough space for everything. For now. I do have to make display cases for the isopods for shows. Because I have like 30 species. So I need a good like space efficient tier system that I can keep them on. Tier system. And then I have to find lights that I can somehow connect to the display thing. I've never had aquatic isopods before, but I definitely want to try them sometime. I got a nice 5-gallon that's open and ready for something. Either darrow worms or black worms.
Or aquatic isopods.
Or aquatic isopods. But yeah. So the NEC, the hotel, they posted pictures of the hotel, the Mystic Marriott. It's beautiful, really nice. But we can't stay in there because we're going to bring the dog with us. So we're going to stay 5 minutes down the road at this nicer hotel. Motel 6. And
They'll leave the light on for us.
some people might not be happy that we're staying there.
I am. I just like to tease you. It's fun.
But it's a lot cheaper too, which is good because there's only 50 registered attendees for the NEC right now. And then 12 vendors signed up out of 70. So the good thing is I have a little over $600 in pre-orders so far, which is good because it costs about $900 to go. So I almost have enough in pre-orders to pay to cover the cost of the trip. So I know I'm not going to lose money on it, which is always a good thing because I don't know. I guess we'll have to see how it goes. Because they did have like a great show going, but then they took a break for a couple of years for COVID. And this is their first year getting back into it. So I'm hoping a lot of people are going to go. If not, it'll still be a fun time. Right. I booked a hotel today. I've been looking at the hotel for weeks. And it's not like I was debating on it, but I was just like, wanted to make sure everybody was okay with it. So I booked the hotel today. It was $275 for the weekend, which is cheap. Cheap.
No, it looks like a nice hotel. It actually looks like a real nice hotel online, but everything looks good online.
Right.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Sure. What are y'all selling? At the NEC, we're going to have stir-by cories, longfin albinos, regular albinos, maybe black cories, and then for placos, green dragons and chocolates. Yellow and orange shrimp. For live bears, we're going to have black mollies, tequila sunrise guppies, mutt guppies. Gonna have some platinum rice fish. We're gonna have all the live foods we have, so vinegarios, microworms, Waltz worms, banana worms, grinda worms, white worms, peanut beetles, daphnia, and chlorella. We have a beta. I don't remember where we got this beta from, but we have a beta. We'll have Sabwassertang, Java moss, Java fern, maybe some crips. And then for dry goods, catappa leaves, wooden signs, like wood burnt signs. And then isopod supplies, spawning mops, and some other stuff. And I don't think Bob and his wife are going to stay at Motel 6 with us. I think he's just going to leave the dog home. Because he has 2 dogs. So he wants to keep them both together. So if he can't bring 2, he wants to leave them both home.
Did you talk to Bob?
Yeah, I did. How do you transport that many fish with minimum casualties? We just put them in...
I'll pick a truck.
Shut up. We put them in a 32-ounce cup or bags, too. And we line the totes with, like, moving blankets that are, like, super heavy wool blankets.
Of the fish we've been putting in the coolers.
Yeah.
What fits.
Yeah. So we'll either put them in totes or coolers that are lined with, like, basically insulation blankets. And then just pack them super tight so they're not moving around a bunch. And I don't think we had we didn't have any fish dye. for any of our shows yet. One of our shows, we had a couple casualties with crebensis, but I think that's because we had like multiple babies in the bag, and they could be aggressive to each other. But that was our fault. Like for the NEC, the only casualty we had was the Daphnia that I brought there because it was too warm.
Still nothing, is it?
I did not say the NEC.
You just said
Fine.
for the NAC, the only casualty we had was
For transporting animals, the only casualty we've had was at the Keystone Clash, where I brought a couple of cups of Daphnia, but they died because it was too hot. It was too warm for them.
that was in the room.
Yeah.
That wasn't during transportation. It was
Yeah.
actually warm in the room and not thinking about it and putting him on ice or something. Banaxki?
Benoxky, welcome. Yeah, but for the NEC, I might just bring a little tank and then get bags of Daphnia that are in like a cool place, and then just set up a couple tanks and put the Daphnia in there, and then I could put like ice packs in there. I think that would work. Just like the tanks we keep the fish in, and then if people want some, they can actually pick the count that they want, like 100, 200, blah blah blah.
Yeah, because we have a boatload of those half-gallon tanks or 1 gallon tanks, whatever they are.
1 gallon, I think.
1 gallon.
No, they gotta be half gallon. Yeah. But we just bring like 5-gallon buckets of water, and then we can fill them all up about, I don't know, a third of the way, and then we dump the cups of fish in and fill them up so they're about halfway or so none of the fish jump out or anything. Yeah. And we have a little we have battery operated or USB air pumps. So we just hook them up to a little bubbler and put them in the tanks to give them air. And we like kind of shift the air stone around throughout the day. And then
Because we only have 2 of them or 3 of them.
2. And then we just have like nets and bags and cups so that people can pick if they want their fish in a bag or a cup. Because sometimes it's easier for the cups because then you don't have the risk of them popping. But we have a bunch of plastic bags saved up. There's a lady at my school who works in the cafeteria with my mother, and she brings in like just bags, like a shopping bag, just stuffed full of bags. So I probably have a couple hundred, and I'm all ready to give them right out to people. We also brought the option of boxes for the Clash last year, and I think we only had 1 taker. So I don't think we're going to be bringing boxes to the NEC. I don't know. I thought more people would want a box because it would be easy. But I guess a bag you could just put on your arm and just swing it all around. But a box you actually have to like carry. Or you could go put it in your car, but the weather was pretty nice too at the time, I think. Yeah.
For the Clash?
Yeah. It was a little chilly, but
Rained one day, didn't it?
yeah. I remember. I think it was Thursday because Olivia and I ran over to McDonald's like twice that day. Pouring rain. We walked over and lightning struck this tree across from McDonald's. And while we were going to walk into the door, it like cracked and fell over. It was just in the middle of a cemetery. And it was so cool. A little scary.
Didn't it rain where we were leaving too? Yeah.
Yeah.
It rained.
Because I remember stepping in puddles while I'm trying to get into the car. It was awful. You like back the truck up to about where our room exit was. And it's just like, it wasn't pouring, but it was sprinkling. We were just trying to like hustle and get everything in and leave.
But it was a good weekend.
What you doing? Aw. Look at her.
I can't. She's behind me.
So I bought this little slow feeder to put, because we have like this.
Slow cat.
No. It would be a fast cat if she needs a slow feeder. So we have this like super premium food that we got somewhere, and my cats really like it. So I put it in this slow feeder dish that I got at the thrift store the other day. And instead of like putting her face in, she just puts her foot in there and just picks up. Look at it. Look at her. You missed it. Now she shoves her little nose in there. She eats like half the food and spits the rest out on my rug. So we actually have a cat rescue. I think we have like 35 cats in the rescue. But personally, we have 7. We have one of our older cats, like she's been with us a while. I think she's 11 now. We have one dog, he's 10. And then I think these guys are 4. And then we have 2 other cats that are 3 and one that's like 1 or 2. 3 of them were in our rescue. 2 of them Olivia adopted. 1 of them we had in the house and we were just like, go run around and play. And then we kept it. Personally, I have 3 cats that live in my room because they don't really like Charlie. You stop. These are your cats too. They don't really like our other cat Charlie, so they just find peace here. And you can't really see it, but there's this like huge bed back there. I don't know how big. It is. It's like 20 some inches. And I thought it was going to be way too big for my cats, but my one cat just like hogs it. And then my other 2 lay on my bed. There's one. You might be able to see her on the other side of my father's head. Yeah. She usually lays in my blankets. Don't cover her up. And then the other 2 are right here, so you can't really see them. One's eating and one's just laying down. Do the cats ever mess with the fish tanks? We don't. So all of our fish tanks are in our fish room downstairs, which has its own. It's all walled off and it has its own door. So they usually. Well, our tanks up here are big now. I mean, we do have that rack in the kitchen. I forgot to mention. But they can't do anything with the rack in the kitchen. The only tanks we have up here are the 75 salt, and a 26 bow and a 65 that they could be on.
One of the cats used to like to lay on top of the 75.
Yeah. I forget who.
Never really messed with anything.
But no, they all. Also, the lids for the bigger tanks are like really thick. So we did have an incident yesterday where I'm assuming one of our 20-pound cats sat on one of our lizard tanks down in the fish room and broke the lid. But thank goodness the leopard gecko stayed in his little like cork bark log. And when I walked in the fish room, I saw just the shards and like the lid was just shattered front and back. Our cat is fine. He didn't get cut. The leopard gecko was fine. He stayed in his cage. So I just took him out, removed the big pieces, and then just changed his substrate because there was a bunch of little shards. But now he's all good. But that's really the only time. That's really the only incident we've had with any of the cats messing with the fish tanks. Yeah, they do watch the fish a lot, but they've never hurt anything. Especially not these ones. These ones used to really like. They would play with the fish tank equipment all the time. Like pieces of wood I had on top of the tanks, the airline. They would just mess with it all. I had a rack right here in front of my window, and then I had a 60-gallon over there. Usually they get on the 60-gallon and they kind of leave the rack alone. But yeah.
Smokey used to like to hang out on top of that fish tank.
Yeah. The cats are a lot happier now. When we first got Charlie, they really didn't like him. So, like, Smokey and Tiger, they're like twins because they were born at the same time. They just look different, similar build though. They both hid under my parents' bed, and they just like destroyed everything under there. And then Fluffy, I didn't even know where she was. She was hiding under my bed. I felt so bad for them. She was also destroying everything under my bed, and I was like, all right. So I threw out everything under my bed, threw out pretty much everything that was on my bed too, and then got a new bed frame. Gave her this bowl, like I got her cute bowls, got her food and water, bought her little litter box, and then the other two decided to move in, Tiggy and Smokey. Originally it was just Tiggy, and Smokey was living on my father's side of their bed, and we put like food and water in there for her, and a little litter box. But she migrated pretty quickly, so then I had to upgrade their food bowls, and then I realized that they wanted to eat two bowls of food a day, so I had to upgrade them even more. But now they're all fat again, so they don't eat as much. They're not as food demanding. But I ended up buying them like 2 big bags of food a couple weeks ago. One bag is gone, and they're working on the second one. But my mother kind of gives me a bunch of dry food to try out because she gets all these kinds. And so I've got some canisters and such of food. And then she also gives me wet food. I've got this like Hill Science diet, and then I bought them Friskies and such. You should see. One of the cats is really fat. The other guys have to work on being fat. Yeah, I was thinking about getting a kitten, but I wasn't sure if they would try and eat my fish. I have a couple tanks with no lid. Oh, yeah. I don't know about no lid. We kept lids on all of our tanks because of that. Because I feel like our cats would try and drink out of the fish tanks if they didn't have a lid. So we always just kept a lid on all the tanks.
One day she used to run and go to the filter.
Yeah. Huh. This is one of the cats. She's my favorite. She's also the fattest. Huh. You chunky. This one's Fluffy. And then I got Tiger and Smokey. But yeah. I buy them all sorts of stuff all the time. They're just adorable. Fish Tropic, welcome. And yeah, pet food can be expensive. Especially when your cats eat a lot. Huh. How fatty. They used to go through a lot of food, but that was because they like got skinny when they were hiding. Because we didn't know where they were. But once they all like came in my room and I like was taking care of them, they ate a lot. Kind of like when we get in new cats to the rescue that have been outside or something, like kittens mainly. They'll just eat for hours when they get here. We had somebody drop off 2 cats on a park bench, and somebody saw this and like picked them right up and brought them here. But they sat at their food bowl for hours and just ate and ate. But yeah.
Daniel Velez.
Daniel Velez, welcome. It's crazy what these cats get, huh? They've got like so many different kinds of food that they eat. And then they get pumpkin and ham and stuff. Huh. They eat 3 times a day, 2 spoonfuls. That's it. Cats will eat you out of your house. You think a dog's bad? Yeah. My cats eat once a day, but they eat a good amount in the morning. Sometimes they eat at night, depending on.
Weirdo. Yeah.
She's adorable. She just wants to be pet. Good. But yeah, the NEC's in 40 days. 40 days until it starts. 39 days till we have to leave to get there. 38 days until for everything to be done. So, my mother's been. So, we went to the Clash last year, and my mother made up a bunch of these cute little toys, like crocheted little things. They could be used. Some of them can be cat toys. Some of them could just be like little decorations, like betas, and then there's pumpkins, and then there's little fish. It's cute. And she set them out as, and you could like take them as a donation for the animal rescue. So she's been working on that for the NEC. And I gotta make up some spawning mops and dry stuff, like dry goods for the NEC. And get that out of the way before I have to start making cultures. Which will be 2 weeks before. So 24 days from now. So in 3 weeks and a couple days, I'll have to start making up cultures for the NEC. Seems so close. It's in April and we're not even in March yet. But it's 3 weeks. We gotta make cultures. How exciting.
It's in April?
Yeah.
Oh, 3 weeks. You gotta start making the cultures.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then it'll be like 2 weeks and some till the thing. But yeah. A lot of preparation. We gotta be extra prepared for this one because it's gonna be a lot of live foods needed.
Like I said, we knew what was happening with the Clash because we went there the first year as just visiting. And then the second year we went to
Vend.
Vend.
And now we're gonna go Vend every year.
But the this one we've never been to.
And also they just started back up, so it's not like we can.
Right.
Well, they
We
asked
weren't to
me.
before.
They asked me like what last October to do the workshop at the NEC. So I hadn't even heard about it at this point. Or maybe I heard about it a little, but I didn't think we were gonna go. I mean, I don't know that I would have wanted to go for funsies to the NEC because it's like $540 for the registration, $540, and then it's $300 for the hotel, and then food would be $3 something. So going to do the workshop, we get in, like our registration's free, and then we also get a table free. So it's better. I don't know that I would have went as a non-vendor because it would have been a lot more expensive. But we did go to the NEC, not being a vendor. It was pretty expensive, but
We went to the Keystone Clash.
Keystone Clash, as a non-vendor, but that's he paid for that year, so it was pretty nice. But then
You didn't get that bill yet?
last year he was gonna pay for the NEC as well, but then we went to this Massachusetts swap, and it turned out to be really good. We brought home like $1,200 or something from this swap, so I was like, all right, I'm paying for the NEC. So then I paid.
That was a really good 1 day swap.
Yeah, it was insane. I want to go back this year, but I don't know that we can because it's on a big weekend. So
It's on a big weekend.
it's like August 12th, and that's when our raffle's going on, isn't it? Our raffle's August 10th. All right, we'll make it work. Man, we don't really have to be there for the raffle anyway.
Yeah. It's the open house.
Yeah.
probably got to be there.
Let me look at my calendar.
My important title, I probably should be there for that.
Okay. But we need you to carry the heavy stuff. Okay, so I'm assuming it was August 12th last year, but August 12th is a Monday, so I'm assuming it'd just be the next weekend, which would be the 17th. One can only hope. If they do it the 10th, I don't know. Maybe my mother and I will go or something, and Olivia. He could stay for the open house. But if they do it the 17th, then we could all go. If everyone wanted to. It was a fun swap. It was, I was very nervous when we first got there. It was in the middle of nowhere at this Hong Kong restaurant. Hong Mei's restaurant or something. I don't know. Yeah, we got there. It was very, like.
It was supposed to start at 9. We got there just before 9. Went inside.
Nobody was there.
It was an open room. A couple guys were rolling out tables.
They hadn't set up yet.
They had no idea where we were supposed to be.
They hadn't set up yet. They were just putting up the tables. There was like 2 people there to vend.
Well, setup was at 9. The event opened at 10 or 10:30 or something.
Yeah. We got there at like 9 something.
And they did not know.
And there was nobody there, and I was like, what?
But then
it filled up quick.
Yeah, everyone showed up. The place filled right in. It was actually a phenomenal show.
It was actually our best swap yet.
It was probably the best.
For little swaps, yes.
But it was one day show. You make that much money.
Well, yes.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Pretty good. I want to do it again this year. We couldn't make, or we can't make their first auction because it's in March 16th. But hopefully we can make the 2 later in the year. And no, we're not going to Aquashella Dallas. Not this year anyways, because we're poor. I'm kidding. We have a lot of events planned this year. Not just fish events. We have we're part of a gun club in our town, and we do a lot of events there. So we don't want to miss too much camp this year, but also we have to miss a bunch of camp this year. Just not the whole weekend. Like, we'll be going up.
I can get up Saturday morning and leave without you.
No, I'm saying we're not just going to stay home from camp every weekend for, like, either football or...
Oh, it's Saturday morning for a couple hours.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
And I don't know. The Aquashell is a big expense for just corporate sponsors. You're going to see corporate sponsors. I mean, you could pretty much walk in any fish store and buy corporate food. There's not a lot of small time vendors. There's no, I don't know.
I think the only fish things we're going to this year is the NEC, the Clash, CatCon, which CatCon sold out, but that's because they have like 20 spots or something. The NEC's got like 70 spots. The Clash, I think, got about 70, but they're like half sold out. So we're going to those. Those are 3 big shows. 2 of them we're staying outside of the hotel, and then the Clash we're obviously going to stay in the hotel again. I mean, the Clash is like probably our best show. My favorite show. We haven't been to the other 2 before, so I can't exactly say which show is the best, but the Clash is always fun because we pretty much know everybody. We just walk around. People are like, hey, Brianne, and hey, Dave, and people know us, and we've never met in person before. Some people say hi, and I'm like, I don't really know you. And I feel bad. But that's why they have their little name tags on. Makes it great. So we have those 3, and then there's a couple other smaller swaps. The upstate New York Killifish is doing a swap, but of course it's in March, so we can't go. March is too early. There's one April 20th, that I'm trying to get them to want to go to because it's just a beautiful setup. There's 35,000 square feet, 140 vendor spots. It's $45 a table. It's going to be great.
We're talking about the reptile show.
It's going to be great. Just beautiful. We're going to go there and sell isopods. I'll ask somebody to bring me a spider.
Bring a lunch.
Bring a lunch?
I'm not walking through that place again looking for food.
No, this isn't the Capital District.
Oh, which one is it?
This is out by Syracuse. It's 3 hours away.
Oh, too far. I got to be at camp.
It's not. It's April 20th. There's no camp.
It's the end of April.
So
It's got a gazebo,
It's
a deck to build.
one day. You do not have to go. And then there's May 18th is the big one that
I'm not going to.
we all can't go to. Because I think there's one spot open and like the other 100-some tables are all sold out. Isopods might actually do good there. I'm not sure. But they have one later in September. We could probably make September happen. It's also a one-day show, and I think it's on a Sunday, so it's possible. If we leave like a Saturday night, no, we'd have to. My mother and I could go home Saturday, and then you could come home later Saturday or something. I don't know. But we gotta pack up stuff if we're gonna go. Shut up.
I've seen a lot of live streams from the Aquashellas. I thought it was cool. The paintings, the black lights, all the stuff they have. I do think it'd be neat, but it seems to, now that it's kind of changed hands, it seems like it's geared towards the corporate person and not towards the small people, which is nice about these other shows. They're kind of geared towards people in the hobby more than businesses, corporations.
Yes, indeed.
So I kind of lost a little bit of interest to going to the Aquashellas.
I never had any big interest to go to Aquashell, but I always think they're cool.
If there was one close, or I was close to one
New York.
when they were having it, I probably would check it out.
Oh, I forgot to mention. There's also the OCA that we could go to. It's only in Ohio. 8-hour drive. It's out of the camp season, so it's perfect. And what do you think? You down? Anyways, thank you all for coming to the stream. And we'll see you all next Sunday. I gotta go pack up orders now. Enjoy, everybody. Have a good week.
Have a great week. See you all in the streams. Catch you next weekend. Hey, Skipper.
Hey, Skipper.
Hi, Skipper.
Yeah, bye.
Catch you all later. Enjoy.
Bye, everybody.